Hi folks, I'm Heidi from Hands Occupied and I'm here today with another knitting stitch tutorial for you. In this video, I am going to walk you through how to knit the little butterfly or bowknot stitch. It's very, very cute and it's really fun for incorporating in little kid patterns, in funky afghans, on mittens. This is one of my all-time favorite stitches, so I'm excited to show you how to knit it. Let's go. On my needle here, I have cast on a whopping multiple of 10 stitches plus 7, so 27. And I'm going to demonstrate how to do the first 6 rows of this pattern, which shows you how to work this, and then I'll walk you through how to tessellate it into this checkerboard. So right here is our multiple of 10 stitches plus 7, and for row 1, we are looking at a right side row starting with a knit 1 stitch. And now the repeat across the row is knit 5, now we're going to bring our working yarn between our needles to the front of our work. Just jumping it right over. Now we're going to slip the next 5 stitches without knitting or purling them. We're going to slip the next 5 with our yarn in front. 2, I'm holding mine way out of the way for dramatic effect. You shouldn't do this because it's bad for your tendons. 3, 4, and 5. So now our working yarn can relax and we can bring it through our 2 needles to the back of our work. Big caveat here. It's really easy to work really tight, and then these little bows or butterflies turn out kind of wonky. So just be careful with what's called your tension here. If that's a term you're new to, welcome to knitting. Now we'll repeat. We're going to knit 5. And now we're going to bring our working yarn between our needles to the front and slip the next 5. 1, without working them, with that yarn in front. Now we'll bring our yarn through to the back and we are on our last 6 stitches of our row, which will just be knit. And there is row 1. Row 2 is a wrong side row and we're going to purl all the way across. So this is the first time in row 2 that we're actually working any of the cast on stitches that we slipped in row 1. Now for row 3 and 5, we're going to do the exact same thing we did in row 1. And for row 4, we're going to do the exact same thing we did in row 2. So prepare yourselves for a time lapse. All right, and now row 5, which is the same as row 1. And row 6 is where it gets real exciting, so hang tight. Ta-da! All right, now row 6, the exciting row. But first, you can take a look at rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. You should have your strands of slip stitches on the right side of your work, and they should all be over the same number of stitches. Sometimes you can miscount. It's fairly easy to fix, but just be careful with your tension. And like I said, be careful with your tension so you don't get any like whoop happening or stretched out happening. You want good tension across these strands so that they turn into even looking little bows across your swatch. So let's do this last row. Now we're on the wrong side for row 6. So this is the interesting part and the real magic of where this stitch comes together. So to start, we're going to do an easy purl 8 on the wrong side. Now what we're going to do, we have reached those strands on the other side of our work. Now we're going to insert the tip of our right hand needle under these 3 strands here. See that close up? There. So for simplicity's sake, I'm going to hold it like this just to show you the direction. It'll be under 1, 2, and 3. Now we can grab our working yarn again, which I've kind of left hang out at the front. We're going to bring it through both needles to the back. Now we're going to make a loop over our needle and draw it under these 3 stitches. I almost always use my fingers to draw that underneath, especially on the first row because it's just a little bit curly at that cast on edge. It's just easier. Next, we're going to bring the yarn between our needles back to the front of the work, so back towards our body. We're going to purl 1 stitch, and then to finish off that bow, we are going to draw the 2nd stitch over the 1st stitch on the right needle, binding it off. So we have created 1 bow so far, and now we can do another. And now we're going to insert the needle from below under these 3 strands, get our working yarn to the front of our work, bring a loop under these 3. It looks so bad when you do it with your hands, but it is easier, especially while filming and talking at the same time. Anyway, now we bring that working yarn between, purl 1, and then we bind off by drawing the 2nd loop over the 1st on that right hand needle. And now we finish off the row with a purl 8, and we can take a look at what we've done on the right side. So you can see there's 2 little bows there and there. Looking at our big swatch, this is what they look like after they've been wet blocked, which I really recommend with this because wet blocking is a great thing for evening out tension. And then also you'll notice that I've only included the instructions for the first 6 rows of this larger swatch in this video, but I've got them in the pattern below because they're worked exactly the same, but like all of these checkerboard or tessellating stitches, you just alternate where you're doing a knit versus a slip. Again, checkerboard. So think of these sections of little bows, like the black squares on a checkerboard, and the sections of stockinette, like the white squares. This has been how to work the little butterfly or bowknot stitch, which has a distinct right and wrong side, and is a really fun one to work when you get your tension right. If you've got any questions, go ahead and let us know in the comments. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe for even more video tutorials. I've been Heidi, and thanks for watching.